Hi, I'm Erica. I'm the managing director at the Ashland Independent Film Festival, and I am joined here by some of the filmmakers from our Locals Only narrative program. I have a couple questions I'd like to ask of the group. Starting with, I would love for each of you to introduce yourself, what film you're associated with, and what your role is with the film, and what your inspiration was that led you to start the project.
Hi, I'm Richard Jensen. My short is near the end, but not quite there. Basically, I make, when I was doing this, I was making one short a month, so these were done very fast. And this particular short was inspired by the fact that we're kind of in a garbage fire part of the timeline right now. And it's basically two people responding to that. And it's done in kind of a very formalistic kind of way.
My name's Lacey DeQuino, and I work with the production company Illustrated Sandwich here in Ashland. And the film we did is called The West is Burning. And I got to work with an amazing team of local filmmakers and artists and talented folks that live here and that we got to work with. And the film was inspired because we've had a lot of smoky summertime experiences, and this past year, we only had 4 days. But we put this whole concoction together on the second day, thinking we were maybe going to be in it for a long time, but thankfully we were not. But that was the inspiration for this piece, this exploration of isolation when things around you have gone so bad.
Hasn't dated.
Timely. So I'm Ginny Auer, and I'm the writer and director of Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow, and it was influenced by my own personal experience with cancer and as a widow. I have a production company called Live Huge Productions, which came out of a letter that my husband wrote to me before he died that I didn't know about, and he signed it Live Huge Troy. And this film was a part of one of my dreams, which was to create a film, to be involved in the film industry. I've always been in the nonprofit realm prior to this. And so you always, I think, start from what you know. And I took a script writing class, and this just sort of poured out of me without a whole lot of effort. And before I knew it, I was in the middle of it. So it took a little while to get it done. Life threw a few texts down on the road before we got here. And it seems to be continuing to a little bit. So I'm just grateful to have it out there in the world and to be able to share it with you, and to have had the great opportunity to work with so many incredible crew and actors, all from right here locally in Ashland. So it's a labor of love and a labor of community.
I'm Josh Clark. My film is a little short called The Egg. I am a independent animator here in Ashland, and I get contacted a lot by rock bands to make music videos for them. And so I developed this concept for a band initially, and they bailed on the project. And I had the concept, and I had the characters, and I had some of the scenes already. So then I sort of went in and said, this is a fun little story, and I just made lemons out of lemonade, I guess, and just finished the project. And without using their music, I went and then I sound designed it and got the different music to go along with it, and saw it through to the end. And I also it was already set up on a pretty small budget, so that's why it's still kind of black and white and pretty simple. But the challenge was to try to see if I could still make something compelling and funny with the amount of time that I had to actually complete the project. So happy to be a part of the program this year.
And hi, I'm Deanna Morse. I'm an experimental animator. I recently moved to Oregon from Michigan, where I lived and taught at a university for about 30 some years. And I've been making animation shorts. I try to make a film a year every year since I graduated from college, and I've pretty much done that. And I've had work for Sesame Street. And this piece actually sort of back to some of my kid-related stuff. It's a multi-generational reading of a Walt Whitman poem called To a Certain Cantatrice, and I called it The Gift. And in this film, I animated a variety of materials, flowers, kids' artwork, chicken eggs, Play-Doh, more flowers, and it's a 2-minute tribute to Whitman. It was inspired, I was invited to be part of a collective project that looked at Whitman's poems for his 200th birthday, and that was what generated this piece.
Thank you. As I'm sure most of you have seen, Ashland is repeatedly recognized by a Movie Maker magazine as one of the best places to live and work as a filmmaker. A very flattering accolade. And I would love to hear from each of you what your experience has been specifically working in the Rogue Valley as a filmmaker, and what you believe is one of the reasons that we continue to make it onto that list.
Well, it's kind of hard for me to say about this because of the specific way I work. I tend to do every job myself. I'm the writer, director, / cinematographer / sound editor / film editor. So I tend to keep to myself a little bit. All the shorts tend to be kind of a tismal based almost, except for the actors, because you need actors to actually say the words. It's kind of the best thing that can be said about Ashland is we've got a pretty good pool of talent. We've got some great, terrific actors here, and that has helped considerably, especially given the fact that I tend to do these things very fast. I write a script, and then we schedule it to shoot in one day. So we need people who are really on top of it and know what they're doing. We don't even have time to rehearse. I just show up, light it, and shoot.
I have found that this town probably is, I've often wondered why we're on that list, honestly. But I do think there's an amazing group of talented people that are very driven to do this work. And I do think that given opportunities, we're able to staff up stuff. We can crew them. We've got gear, abilities, skills. I think the only thing we would need is more experience and more cohesion. But I think, yeah, this town's got everything it takes to be able to make amazing film. I believe that.
Well, I know exactly why we're on there, because I've been a part of helping us get on that list for years now, from the back end. And I would say that one is you can't turn a camera without getting a good shot. We have incredible locations. You can get locations from, snow to sand to whatever you're looking for. It can be Hawaii, it can be just any number of places if you point the camera in a direction. And then just the natural beauty of Oregon. So much of film that's done in Oregon is filmed as Oregon, which is really quite special in and of itself. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is we have incredible crew here, and they're not only good at what they do, they're good at supporting each other and mentoring. And I feel like my film is an acknowledgement of that. Almost everyone who worked on this film was a mentor to me prior to my starting with film, and helped support me along the way. And I feel like there is a strong community here. There has been since around 2008. It hasn't always been that way, but I'd say, I think it was 2008 or so, maybe earlier, 2004. There were a lot of things that came together to create a community. Southern Oregon Film and Media has been a big part of that. Film Southern Oregon now. And so if people are interested in filming here and finding out about locations or finding out about crew or finding out how you can be involved here, there's a lot to offer, not the least of which is this incredible film festival, which opens up every year and highlights not only other filmmakers from outside, but highlights the local filmmakers and helps us present not only ourselves, but the community at large and what we can do.
yeah, so for me, I kind of do it all myself as well. So I'm doing the animation, so I do the background paintings and everything, pretty much just me in my office. But I moved here, let's see, I've been here about 5 years, and I started doing animation pretty much for a living now when we moved here, and just kind of fell into it. And a few years ago, one of my first pieces that I did got into this film festival, and that was extremely inspirational to me, because it also just like confirmed that I can do this. So knowing that there's a community, and also then getting that sort of affirmation helped me a lot to just continue forward and keep confident when you think you're you're like, what am I doing? But it's so yeah, there's a strong community, and there's the sense of community, and also this good undercurrent for the other things I do. When I'm not animating, I'm an illustrator and a fine artist, so there's plenty of beauty to be found, and also plenty of character walking the streets of Ashland. For a little town, it really knows how to fly the freak flag, which is why I feel pretty comfortable here.
Well, I'm a newbie to this region too, and it's true, as an independent filmmaker and experimental animator, we tend to work alone and in isolation, but I do go to a lot of film festivals in America and internationally. And a year ago, I was at the Ann Arbor Film Festival, which is a festival I've been involved with as a juror, and I've had film shown there, and I'm on their advisory board. Anyway, and I was talking to Stacy Steers, who was a juror and a special guest last year, and she said to me, she just raved about this film festival. And it's in your backyard, she said. So I was so looking forward to coming this year and meeting people in person, but I'm really excited now that I get to experience it virtually this year. And I'm really impressed that you guys have taken the effort to continue this festival online and to share it with people probably more broadly than you would in the Ashland community. So thank you for that.
Thank you. That's sweet to say, and we're so happy we get to share this virtual space with you, and that's absolutely right. We do have the opportunity to have a wider reach with the virtual festival, but we do look forward to gathering with you in person here, hopefully later in the year or next year. Yeah, that would be great. Fantastic. Well, thank you all. I would love to just take a moment and give everybody an opportunity to share anything else they'd like to share with our audiences, including any resources tied to the content of your film that you wish to share, and any exciting projects you're working on now or have coming up next you should be keeping an eye out for.
Well, obviously, I can say that you can go to my website, CelticRayFilmworks.com. I've got samples of my work there. I also have a blog that I occasionally update, not as often as I should, but it gets updated. I also have a Patreon page, but patreon.com/CelticRayFilmworks, but we're kind of inactive right now because we're not shooting anything because we're on lockdown. It's been very, very, very trying, because now I'm hoping that we can get back to shooting stuff after this is over. But at the same time, I'm looking at the short I've made now that you guys have near the end, but not quite there. And I'm thinking to myself, if this is the last movie I ever make, it kind of works as a continuum of filmmakers' last movies, going from Billy Wilder's Buddy Buddy to John Huston's The Dead. I'm definitely closer in Dead territory, not necessarily because it's my best work, but simply because it's a mission statement of what I've done over the last couple of years. Basically, it's 3 minutes of mortal dread capped by a cheap sex joke. I figure that's how I want to go out.
Our production company is continuing to work on scripts and developing projects, and we're working on multiple things all at once, and we've been sorting through who our crew members are going to be on which elements and how do we continue working from here. And the film festival's been phenomenal partnering in this community and inspiring people to be able to keep going for it. And I am definitely one of the people who's taken advantage of the opportunity to participate and to get to forward that education of making film and then seeing how it works and then going back to the drawing board. So I am indebted to the film festival and what it's done for us. And I hope Ashland continues to thrive and we can keep making employment for people to work in the industry here. Thrilling. Thank you. Thanks.
So yeah, Hair Today Gone Tomorrow has a website, or will have a website soon, hairtodaymovie.com, and I'm keeping people up to date mostly on Facebook right now at Hair Today Gone Tomorrow. And if you want to learn more about it and where we're going and where we're headed, if you want resources around being a widow or resources around cancer support and that kind of thing, I'll be continuing to update things there on a regular basis to try and help people out.
Yeah, you can go to joshclarkstudios.com and see a lot of more of my animation, along with paintings and rock and roll poster art, etc. I'm continuing to roll along in this pandemic. I'm fortunate to be keeping busy since people still need content out there. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I'm lucky right now, so I'm very busy, and I'll be working for months trying to push myself to become a better animator and a better filmmaker. And yeah, it's been great. It's nice to talk with all of you and be a part of this. I wish that we could be doing this together in the theater, because that's super fun, but you know, next time.
Yeah, I agree. It's great to see you all and be able to connect, even just virtually. As an experimental animator, I'm interested in things that move really slow, and I'm also interested in things that move really fast, the sort of space between the frames. So right now I'm doing time lapse of these fabulously beautiful California poppies that are blooming where I live in Grants Pass, Oregon, and they open up and close depending on the sunshine. And while I'm talking to you, I've got 2 cameras shooting them in other rooms of the house, you know, so I'm just still kind of plugging along doing that. I have a website. It's my name, deannamorse.com. I also have a YouTube channel and a Vimeo channel, and I've shared a lot of my work there. And I have an educational site too that talks a little bit about resources for animation, but there's a lot better stuff, more current stuff, because so many faculty had to make these quick moves to do things, putting resources for their students to be able to shoot at home. There's a lot online for people that want to do animation. And I'm really looking forward to this festival. Well, actually, it's already happening now.
It's currently happening while we're talking.
Great. Thank you all so much for joining us and for submitting your work, sharing your work with us.
Thank
and we hope to see you at a future festival in person.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
Thank you.